Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a question that trips up almost every new project manager. Is this task I've been given a project, or is it just, business as usual? It's a really critical difference, and we're going to explore it by following an apprentice named Jody as she gets ready for her big Level 4 assessment.
So, this is it, right? The classic dilemma. A huge new task lands on your desk and you're just staring at it, thinking, do I just add this to my to-do list, or do I need a whole different way of thinking about this? Jody's feeling a little lost here, and that is totally normal. Getting this right is the very first step on a really important journey.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We're going to follow Jody's story in 5 simple steps. We'll start with that confusing task, then we'll see her mentor's key lesson. We'll watch her develop her knowledge, gather her evidence, and finally, absolutely nail the final test. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Here we have Jody. She's an apprentice at a company called Ibis Stores, and her manager, Riddle, just gave her a new assignment that, well, it just feels different from her regular day-to-day work. I mean, think about it. This loyalty card scheme isn't just another weekly report she can tick off a list. It feels like this big, tangled thing. It's a one-off beast with a million moving parts. She's not even sure where to begin, so she does the smart thing. She goes to find her mentor, Adam, for a bit of advice.
Now, this is where things start to click. Adam, her mentor, is great. He doesn't just throw a dry textbook definition at her. Nope, he uses this really simple, super clear analogy that just makes the whole thing make sense.
So Adam puts it like this. A project, like building a brand new self-checkout area, is a temporary push to create something new. It has a definite start and a definite end. But business as usual, or BAU as you'll hear it called, that's like running those checkouts every single day. It's the ongoing, repeatable work that just keeps the lights on. See the difference? One creates change, the other maintains the status quo.
And this table, it's gold. It perfectly sums up the differences an assessor's looking for. It all boils down to 4 things. First, duration. Is it temporary, or is it just ongoing? Then, nature. Is it a unique, one-off thing, or is it repeatable? How do you measure success? Are you looking at scope, time, and cost? Are you tracking operational stuff like KPIs? And finally, and this is a big one, what controls do you use? Are you using a project-specific RAID log for risks, or are you following standard operating procedures?
So getting the definition is step 1. That's great. But for her portfolio, Jody has to prove she can actually use this knowledge. So Adam gives her a really clear 5-step path to get there.
And this is a real path to mastery, You start by just learning the basic ideas. Then you train yourself to spot the right language in emails and documents. After that, you get to apply it, maybe with a little help at first. Then you learn to justify your choices on your own. And finally, you reflect on what worked and what didn't. It's how you go from just knowing something to being truly confident.
A huge part of spotting the difference is just listening to the words people use around you. If you start hearing talk of milestones, deliverables, and handover, your project alarm bells should be ringing. But if you hear things like SLAs, that's service level agreements, or SOPs for standard operating procedures, well, you're deep in the world of business as usual.
Right, so Jody totally gets the concept now. She knows what to listen for. But for her apprenticeship, knowing isn't enough. She has to prove it. She needs to show her assessor, in her portfolio, that she has mastered this specific knowledge standard, which is called K1.
And good evidence isn't just you writing, "This was a project." It's about showing your thinking. You could, say, take a project plan and just scribble notes on it to highlight the milestones. Or you could write a little comparison explaining how this project will be managed differently once it becomes normal day-to-day work. Honestly, even meeting notes where you just ask the question, "Hey, is this a project?" can be super powerful evidence.
For her loyalty card launch, a killer piece of evidence would be the RAID log. That stands for risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. Submitting that document is solid proof that she's using a specific project management tool to handle the unique problems that come with a temporary piece of work.
And here is the most important part of all of this. Assessors are looking for the why. They don't just want a list of things you did, they want to know why you chose a RAID log, why you used a milestone report and not a standard KPI dashboard. It is all about making that explicit link between your decision, this is a project, and your actions.
Okay, and that brings us to the final showdown, the endpoint assessment, or the EPA. Jody sits down with her coach Olivia to practice a few questions for the professional discussion, which is a big part of that final assessment.
This is such a classic opening question. It's a straight-up test of that K1 knowledge. So let's see how Jody, who's now armed with everything Adam taught her, crafts the perfect answer.
Boom! That is a fantastic answer. See how she hits all those keywords we talked about? She says it was temporary, it was unique, and it needed a formal handover. She's not just giving her opinion, she's using the actual language of project management to back up her decision.
And here comes the follow-up. This one goes a little deeper, right? It tests the practical side of things. It's basically asking, okay, so you knew it was a project. So what? What did you actually do differently?
And that is exactly what an assessor wants to hear. She's directly comparing the specific project tools she used, the milestone plan, the RAID log, with the standard BAU stuff like KPI dashboards. This proves she doesn't just know the theory, she actually put it into practice. And that's Jody's whole journey, isn't it? From being confused to feeling totally confident. And it all came down to understanding that one simple distinction: is this work a temporary effort to create something new, or is it part of the ongoing everyday rhythm of the business? Getting that right is the foundation for literally everything else you'll do as a project manager. Seriously, mastering this one idea gives you this incredible clarity. It lets you choose the right tools, ask smarter questions, and set every single piece of work you do up for success. It really is the first giant step on your path to becoming a fantastic project manager.